Alright, what is up guys? We are back again. This time we are doing stuff for the CDA. Now, I know I feature Temple a lot on this channel. He is my boy. But it is Crystal Temple versus Alliance Guy. Now, Temple and Guy have faced each other in a lot of other leagues. Very competitive Pokemon that they have on their team. And they also have a huge rivalry. I wouldn't say huge, but it's a pretty good rivalry. Guy lost to Temple, Temple loses to Guy. They're pretty good players. But looking at these two teams, Guy has like a really balanced team. A lot of like it's half stally, half offensive. So Temple has like a really offensive team outside of like Gastrodon maybe Malamar. I see that as an offensive presence. But I'm just gonna get right into it. So leads on his end, I believe Temple would lead off with Tornadus, and Guy would lead off with like Mamoswine or something, or Hydreigon if it is Scarfed, which I think it is. I haven't watched this match in a long time, but he does lead a Hydreigon, and he does lead a Superior. Now, knowing that, hold on, let me turn out normal. He does U-turn out on the Gastrodon switch. I guess Temple thought it was Scarfed, but he does go into his Tangrowth here. Now, Tangrowth is a good play because it can Power Whip, it can knock off with the Leaf Storm. But Temple actually makes an aggressive play and stays in an Ice Beam, which is pretty aggressive. I don't think I would do that myself. But knowing that Guy will go for a Grass Move here, he goes into Tornadus here, making a very nice play. Now, he does get a free U-turn off, probably on the Heatran or the Slowbro if he wants to take that. I don't think that's a good play. But he does go into Heatran here. Temple U-turns out into Malamar. Now, Malamar usually superpowers and stuff, so Guy knows that, and he goes into his Tangrowth. Very nice play, very nice play. Now, Temple just keeps superpowering, which I agree is a really good play. And now Guy just Giga Drains. That does nothing to Malamar, and I believe superpower knocks it out here. And Guy knowing that goes out into Slowbro, which is not a really good switch, unless it is Rocky Helmet, which can get a little bit of damage off, which it is. Which is a pretty good play on Guy, but something suffers a knockoff here. But Temple actually does not have the knockoff, which is crazy. And Gastrodon's gonna eat up the Scald hit. That could have been game actually if Malamar had knockoff. But Hydreigon comes out on the Amnesia, which is a really interesting move. But Guy reveals that he is Scarf Hydreigon with Crunch, so he's purely physical, which is interesting to say the least, because you never see that run. But Temple goes into low pony here. He knows he'll get a free fake out, and Guy knowing that goes out to Slowbro here, which is his best play by far. So Slowbro eats out that hit, even if it was a crit. That did 0. Now, Temple has a good play, either going out to Malamar, Crawdon, or Superior, but he actually goes Malamar, predicting the Thunder Wave, actually. And Malamar is just gonna... Wait, why did he knock off earlier? Okay, that's just recurring to me. I don't know why he didn't knock off earlier. Because I believe that did kill Slowbro from there, easily. But Temple does go into Superior, and probably just going to Leaf Storm. He actually subs. Wow, interesting play. Because I think you're walled by this anyway, so I don't know why sub was the play. But he's just going to Leaf Storm here. Actually, no, he 1v1 this. Crazy. Actually, yeah, that was a really good play on Temple's part by subbing. He's just going to Leaf Storm again, take him out. Now, Guy loses his Tangrowth as part of his regenerated core, but he still does have the Slowbro and the Heatran. So, knowing that Hydreigon is Scarf, he's going to switch out into Tornadus, predicting the U-turn, which Guy does go for. His best play is to go into the Mamoswine Jolteon. Yep. So he's just going to Volt Switch here. Temple knows he can eat it up, so he stays in. Probably goes for the U-turn knockoff or Hurricane here. As he does knockoff. Heatran Scarf. So Guy is running double Scarf in Heatran and Hydreigon. And now Temple is using superpower to take out the Heatran, which is very nice. He should go into Hydreigon or Jolteon here. I probably would have went into Hydreigon just because it stops Superior from coming in. But that's fine. He actually T-Volts here. Temple gets his low pony weakened, which I don't know if that was the best play there, just because Slowbro is still a thing. But his best play here is going to Superior. Actually, he actually returns. I don't think I'd agree with that play at all. Because actually, no. I see the logic in that play. As he does high jump kick, I don't agree with that play. Honestly, he should have went straight into Superior or Crawdon. But he goes into Superior now. He actually subs on the T-Wave, but Guy knowing that, Guy actually T-Waves again. Oh, I forgot. Oh my god. So, that was a terrible play on Guy's part. But Temple misses the Leaf Storm. That is crazy. Temple would have just won there. However, he did miss Leaf Storm. And Guy made a misplay there. It was a terrible play, T-waving, but he actually subbed again. Maybe Guy T-waves again, but Guy actually goes for the flamethrower here. And now Temple's just gonna go for the Leaf Storm and knock out the Slowbro, which is his best play easily. And I believe that Guy's best play here is going to Mammosaurine, or yeah, because I think Ice Shard knocks it out from that range. Yep, it does. And now Caracas is going to come in and Aqua Jet for the win. So that is a GG. That is a 1-0 in Temple's favor. It was a good game. Like, I was watching this. I was on my toes the whole time. But Temple does carry out the win here. Guy could have made some better plays with his Slowbro. And Temple could have made his better plays with his Malamar. But overall, just a good game here. Really aggressive game. I like these types of games. Balance versus hyper offense, you know, is a thing. So hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like. Hopefully you support the CDA, and yeah, peace out, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yo, what is up, guys? It is X-Men here, back again for a CDA match. This is week 1, Winter versus, I don't even know how to say his name, so it's called Marc. I know by Marc. Alright, so looking at his teams, I believe Charizard X would be pretty good against his team if he uses it correctly. Hoopa's another thing that he can't really switch into. Melodic's just a really good wall, only not walling your Rotom, but everything else is really good against, because he has a huge water weakness. But I believe Cresselia will be a huge wall, even though he has 2 checks to it. So we're just gonna see how they play. I haven't seen this match since it first went on, but let's get right into it. So Melodic leads for Marc, and Ice-Winter has Rotom. So I predicted a Volt Switch there, but he actually goes for Toxic, and he actually mirror codes predicting the Volt Switch out, which is really 2 good plays on both of them. Ice-Winter Toxic again, just because he does not want to get mirror coded. Now he does go for Toxic. He goes for Toxic of his own, also my shitty penguin reference. But they're just toxicing, like, I don't understand. Like, Boy just scalded him just to get a little bit of damage off. And now Rotom will be the one that is taking more damage. But he just pumps here. He should have mirror coded here. He actually does mirror code, and that does a lot. So Ice-Winter, he should Volt Switch at this point. I mean, oh, he actually has Rest. Rest of Chesto coming through. Good play by Ice-Winter. And Marc just recovers up. Now, I would Volt Switch here, honestly, predicting the Toxic. Yeah, Marc does go into Cresselia, and Winter does miss a Hydro Pump, which kind of sucks for Winter, but, you know, he does get the Toxic off, which is really nice, especially on Cresselia, because that wall is now going to be broken so much more just because of that residual damage on the Cresselia. Now, Winter goes into Golurk here. That does not even like anything to Golurk, even though that is Stab. He takes it over, he goes up for leftovers, and he does get Rocks up, which is really, really important. Now, this is really important just because he does have a Charizard and Solo, which are weak to rocks, and he also gets residual damage and punishes any switches that Marc wants to do. Now, let's keep going here. So he actually goes into his Spiritomb on the predicted maybe Shadow Punch or something to that extent, but Ice-Winter just Rock Polishes, which is kind of weird because he is Toxic, and he just switches out right there, picking maybe a Foul Play or Sucker Punch, which is pretty good on Winter's part. Now, Spiritomb can't touch Talonflame, so he goes directly into Melodic. Now Winter bulk ups here, so that means he's probably Spadef Talonflame, which makes really nice sense, being that he has a pretty bulky team, and this can handle Cresselia if it doesn't have Toxic. But Marc goes for the Scald here, and that does nothing to Talonflame. That's not even a 2-hit KO, and that is Stab and everything, which is ridiculous to say the least. Now, he does Toxic here on the predicted Roost, which is pretty nice on Marc's part, but I believe Winter's just going to Brave Bird and take out Melodic, but it actually lives, which is ridiculous. So he's definitely running no attack EVs, and he's running full Spadef. By the way, he took the Scarlets earlier. So, Marc is going to have to do something to go out into. Charizard, I don't think was the right play here. I believe Cresselia was the right play, just to get residual damage. But Brave Bird is going to take out Charizard here, which is a huge threat to Winter's team, but he just sacks it right away. Charizard could 1v1 the Rotom and could set up on it, which could have won him the game, even though he does have that Sharpedo. Which he does go out into, predicting the Cresselia switching. Now, Winter just protects here, just to see what's going on, and he actually shows that Moonblast, which is probably his Sharpedo counter, but I believe that Winter just switches out into his Golurk, yep, to take this Moonblast, which is pretty good. He does get a crit here, which kind of sucks for Winter, but Golurk is not even needed at this point. He could probably just go for a Shadow Punch, yep, and that does a lot just because of the crit, but I don't think it mattered just because the toxic damage will rack up. He could have switched, but like it's just you're getting punished for the rocks and the toxic anyways. So he does switch now and goes into the Spiritomb here, while he just goes for the Dynamic Punch. Gets the prediction wrong, probably predicted the Swallow there, which wasn't, I don't think it was his best play there, but Golurk just Shadow Punches again, which is fine as he does go for the Pursuit. I just going to probably predict that just to get some last bit of damage off. And he does go to Sharpedo here. Now Sharpedo looking really fine at the end of this game. So Marc shows the Destiny Bond here, which means Isolator cannot attack him. So he's probably just going to Wisp this turn or just Destiny Bond again. He just goes for Hypnosis, which is pretty weird. I don't know why that is a thing. That's terrible. Terrible. I don't agree with that. Redy just goes for the Toxic here, predicting the Sucker Punch, or predicting the status of something. I'm not sure. But Isolator just pursues, which is fine because Redy was not really needed in this game. And now Winter could just crunch, just take this out. But he actually goes for the Protect, which I think is a weird play. Actually, no, that's fine because Toxic, yeah, kills him. Yeah, good play, Winter. But I think his best play here is to go into not this because this thing dies. I'm pretty sure it dies, 100%. But I think Sharpedo's just gonna like sweep this game up. I don't see Marc winning at this point. He can't really do anything to stop the win at this point, which means that Marc is gonna take the L for this game. It actually does so much. Like Hoopa's so it's so offensive, but just gets broken on offensive teams. So he's just going to slow here as a last effort, but he's just going to crunch / waterfall to win the game. And yeah, that's gonna be Winter's game. 4-0 in his favor, which is pretty huge because Marc does have pretty good walls in this game on his team, and I didn't see him losing, but like he lost game 1 and week 1, so that's huge. Winter picks up the victory and is in first place, I believe. Maybe not at this point because week 2 is about to start, but hopefully you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I know you guys like this CDA stuff. I like commentating because I feel like I know what I'm talking about, and it can explain plays that don't make sense to you watching the battle, or if you're watching for the first time. But hopefully you guys enjoy. Thank you guys for watching, and peace. Yo, what is up, guys? We are back again on another CDA match. So this is probably going to be compiled into other videos, so you might see 2 other videos before this that I said outro twice, and I probably dumb, but I'm going to put all these videos together into one, making one CDA week, which should look pretty well done, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It should be like CDA stuff. It's really competitive, so hopefully the people who are watching this are people who are fans of the CDA or want to get into the next season. But I'm gonna get right into this. This match is Crystal Mafetan versus Crystal Leon. I know both of these guys pretty well. Leon I know a little bit more than Mafetan, but I do know Leon plays really aggressively. So let's get into this. So Leeds on his end, I think he's gonna lead with Galvantula, freaking Webs. I don't think I've actually seen this battle. But I would pick Galvantula, freaking Webs, and then Azel with rocks, maybe Cust Out Explosion. Let's get right into it. So Leon does lead Azel, as Mafetan does lead Cybertoad. Azel does get Energy Ball, but I guess Leon does not have it. He just U-turns into Tornadoes, either predicting rocks or predicting a Scald, as Mafetan does go for rocks here. I figured him to have Grass Knot on here just because he went straight into it, but he actually Air Slashes here, which isn't a bad play, I guess. But he does knock off and knocks off the E-Belt, which is a pretty nice play with Mafetan. But if Leon has Grass Knot, he'll definitely go for it now. But he actually doesn't. He goes for Air Slash. I don't agree with that play, honestly. But I guess that works out for him. But Leon does have Heat Wave, which is pretty nice. I believe Aggron should attack, actually Curses, which is a pretty big misplay. Because Aggron goes down. That kind of mattered because Tornadoes could have died. But I mean, that's what you get for, you know, that's what you get for running that. And didn't go for the Heavy Slam. But he does get the crit on the Heat Wave, which is kind of unfortunate because Articuno could have took that relatively well and just roosted off the damage, but he just Ice Beam takes out the Tornadus, and Magnezone just comes in and definitely Seismitoad walls this thing like every time unless he has HP Grass, but he doesn't have HP Grass by the way. He switched out there. He should knock off here. Yeah, that was his best play. Knocking off the Golbat's Eviolite, which is a very huge play. Puts Mafetan in a really nice position here. He should go. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say the Articuno or Starmie, but that's fine. Articuno just gets for Roost slash Ice Beam here. He should go Magnezone. Yeah, he should Roost here. He actually goes for the Ice Beam. I don't think that was the right play, honestly. Roost was the better play just because Articuno would be nice at better health. It could take a lot more hits at better health. But Articuno is going to be a huge threat later in the game, I feel. So he goes Seismitoad here, which is pretty nice because it kind of walls Magnezone, unless he has HP Grass, which I said earlier. But he actually doesn't because he switched out twice, unless he's really, really baiting that. But I don't think he does because Leon doesn't play like that. But Golbat does go for Roost here. And this Seismitoad just keep knocking off. Like, I don't understand that. Like, Scald is better play, especially if he has a chance to burn. However, he doesn't. He just switches, and Articuno takes a Brave Bird, which that did nothing, honestly. But Articuno should Roost here, predicting the Magnezone or predicting the. Never mind. He just Hurricane. I don't understand that play. Like that was such a bad play. Unless you don't have Roost, but like, why would you not? Why would you not have Roost? But Leon just goes for the Flash Cannon again. This is rinsing repeat. This is kind of redundant at this point. I don't see why this is a thing. But Mafetan does make an aggressive play, going into Galvantula, predicting the Golbat, which is, I guess, pretty good. And I guess he doubles again, predicting the Magnezone, but like, we're back to square one. I don't understand these plays. This is kind of dragging on the match a little bit longer than that. Both of them would like. But Seismitoad does go for Rocks here, which is pretty nice, but Golbat's going to default him away here. As he should. Yep. And I believe Mafetan should go for like a Thunder or something, or maybe something like the Magnezone, but he actually goes Chomp, predicting Thunder. Mafetan goes for Sticky Web, pretty nice play. A little bit late in the game, however, it's still nice. And Mafetan just goes into Articuno to sack it. However, Leon does go for the Earthquake. Make the ground shake. Wait, Articuno gets Ice Shard? What? Why is he ready that? Hello? But anyways, Leon did have the Yachi Berry to counter that Articuno and knock it out with the Rock Slide. But Mafetan is going to go into Starmie, and he's going to knock it out. This might be a little bit loud. Hold on, let me just lower that a little bit, because that's kind of loud. But okay, where was I at? He just goes back into Golbat and Seismitoad. This is just kind of rinse and repeat. This is going on a little bit more. A little bit longer than I would like. However, like this is just, I don't know, like why would you not have Scald on this set? Actually, Leon sacks Golbat. I don't see why that was the play. I see that as a misplay, honestly. That wasn't the best play he could have made there. He could have roosted and default, but I'm not complaining. But he does go for the knockoff here. I bet he expected it to kill, but it didn't. Sometimes it does go for the Earthquake, and that is a lot of damage. Might have been a mid-roll, I'm not sure. So, he does go Starmie here, I don't know. Oh, wait, whoa, Starmie coming through. Wow, with the Skull, that's ridiculous. Scarf Starmie. Yeah, he just sacked Starmie here. I don't know why that was the play, because now he has a chance to lose to Azoth. Yeah, I don't think that was the right play there, because now Azoth has a chance to win. He does U-turn to break the Sash. Good play by Leon. Now he just goes into Magnezone, that's fine, because yeah, now I'm pretty sure Leon wins now. If Azoth does have the Psychic, or Zen Headbutt if he's physical, but, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, now he gets the damage off on Chestnut. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's GG in Leon's favor. This should be game, at least. Unless he's running max speed Chestnut, which he shouldn't. I mean, he could, I don't know, that doesn't outspeed anything, I don't think, on his team, but, oh. Maybe he's running no speed. Okay, cool. No speed Magnezone. Right, well, it all comes down to what this Azoth set is, but I think it wins either way. Yeah, it does a lot. Yeah, so he has to get like 4 spiky shields if he wants to win this game. I don't see him getting that, if I'm being honest. Um, oh, yeah, this game. Yep, he didn't even try to stall, so, yep, that's GG in Leon's favor. So that is a nice 1-0 in Leon's. Really nice battle. Kind of stally, not for my taste, but, you know, I will pause and I'll bring you the next game, so yeah. Alright, we are back for another game. Now, this is Redy versus Gray. I don't remember the names of the actual teams, but this should be a good match here. It is going to be a really nice match for Redy, because Redy does have the advantage on his team. I'm not saying that to be biased, even though I did help Redy make this team. We actually prepped a lot for Gray's team, and I predicted like half his team. The other half I don't really agree with, because it doesn't help him. But I'll get into that later in the match. Now, leads on Redy's end. I see him leading off with either Rotom or possibly like Chandelure or Drapion. In Gray, I kind of predicted him lead off with either Gardevoir or Arcanine. But let's just get right into it. I don't remember this match very well. But Redy does go in wait, hold on, I'm going way too fast. Way too fast. Hold up. Let me bring that back real quick. So Gray goes into starts with Arcanine. Redy starts with Chandelure. He probably picked a Shadow Ball here. And that goes into Toxic Robe, maybe to eat that up. I'm not sure if that would have ate it up well, but maybe it was a switch in. But maybe he does predict the Porygon too, but Gray just swords the answer straight out while Redy just fucking crazily just stays in on this. This is ridiculous. I'm not sure why this is a play, but I mean, Gray just like sets up early, and I mean, I guess killing Porygon 2 is really nice for Gardevoir and Meletta maybe. But Redy does go into Chandelure here, and he actually doubles, predicting a Sucker Punch, or maybe to switch into possibly Arcanine. I don't know. But he does go into Sylveon, and he tries to set up a Reflect, and he just gets blown back by Gunshot, which is crazy. And Gray's now up 5-4. But he does go into Gardevoir here. Now, calculating this damage, I believe Hyper Voice doesn't kill. Yeah, it does absolutely nothing, because I'm pretty sure you put Spadef and Poison Jab, definitely Okos. It was actually a roll when we were practicing, but that's another story. But Gray goes into Meletta here. I don't agree with that play, just because he gets knocked out and blown back. Now, this should have been the initial play. I'm not sure why he has Flash Fire either, but that did nothing. And now he's just going to Earthquake and get damage off, and this puts Redy in a great position. He should go Breloom here and Mach Punch, because that is his best play. However, he does Spore, which is also a nice play, but now he has to go and Chandelure, because that kind of walls Breloom except for Rock Tomb. But he actually SDs here, so that's fine. Redy should Shadow Ball here. I don't see why not. I wouldn't risk a Fire Blast, but hey, that's just me. But he actually has Psychic. That's pretty interesting. Nice C-Team there, boy. But he should go into Rotom here. Even if he Ice Beams, Rotom should be able to take it relatively well. And Volt Switch should be the play here. But Gray does Protect, which is pretty nice. And Redy just tricks away his Scarf. I believe it was Scarf. Was it a Scarf? Yeah, it was Scarf. And Roaring is just useless at this point, going for sub over and over. I'm not sure why Gray subbed there. That was a terrible play, just because he just saw Trick, and he wasn't going to switch out, especially since he was already into Trick. But he's just going to Volt Switch here and go into the Chandelure. And Gray's basically just killing himself at this point. But Redy did it for him with that Infiltrator Energy Ball, which is pretty nice. And I'm pretty sure Redy wins at this point. He can't win unless Gray sets up to plus like 50 and has Rock Tomb and like everything. But he does wake up getting greedy, and Drapion's just gonna Poison Jab, and that should finish the game with Chandelure or Cloyster. I would finish the game with Cloyster. I'm not sure what he does. Yeah, he does go Cloyster, and he just Ice Shards to win the game. So, yep, that's GG in Redy's favor, 3-0. I think Redy is actually in first place. So, yeah, this guy is fucking on fire. Ridiculous. But hope you guys enjoyed. I will bring you the next one in like 2 seconds. Alright, hope that 2 seconds was fast enough. So we are back for another game. This game is going to be Crashy versus Zero, the Indiana Infernapes versus the Oakland Onixes. Haha, I remember this time. But let's evaluate these teams. Now, Zero is a really weird team. However, I feel like with the Vaporeon, he could definitely win 100%. I kind of remember this game a lot. But Vaporeon's going to be huge in this game, just because he doesn't have really anything to take on Vaporeon outside of Jellicent, which does have Water Absorb, but I mean Toxic is still a thing. And Venusaur's also going to be really nice against his team, even though he does have that Fletchinder. Also, he has Aurorus, which is okay, I guess. It's not the best, but it does help. But Crashy does have a really threatening team. Stoutland could clean the game up potentially. So can Excadrill. If it gets an SD up, could be dangerous. But leads on both of their ends. I believe Zero should have led with either Delphox or Aurorus to counter Hippowdon, I guess. But I think Crashy would lead with either Hippowdon or Excadrill, maybe. I don't know. I can't really think about what he would lead. But he actually does lead Jellicent, and Zero does lead. Hold on, this is going way too fast. Why did I forget about this? But Zero goes straight for the knockoff, which is fine. And Crashy actually goes for the Scald and gets the burn, which is kind of crazy. Getting the first burn, 100%. But Zero's just going to lead seed here on the Jellicent's recover. Now, I don't know why Crashy's staying in here, just because Jellicent does not do well against Venusaur in, like, any regard. So Crashy's going to switch out, go into Fletchinder. Zero actually Giga Drains now, and that does nothing to Fletchinder. Now, Zero has to switch here. He doesn't have really, like, any business staying in here. So he does go into the Vaporeon, and it just eats up that acrobatic. Crashy might be no item acrobatics, thinking about it, because that kind of did a lot for Vaporeon. And Zero just roars here, I'm not sure why. Like, Toxic was the better play if he had it. But he's just going to go to Stoutland here, and Stoutland, by the looks of it, is banded. By the way, went for that, straight for the return. I mean, banned on the Sand team, like that, it's just powerful, dude. But Crashy's gonna go out to Jellicent, predicting the switch into Dusknoir, and he's gonna go straight for that Acid Armor while Zero does go for the Will-O-Wisp. Now, I feel Zero should have not made an aggressive play as he did, but he does get the prediction right, and he absorbs the Toxic, which is really, really nice. And he should predict the switch into Fletchinder here, making aggressive plays, but he actually just leads seeds. That's fine. It's weakening down the Fletchinder, but it's also putting him in range to where, like, he's not gonna counter the Excadrill. That can sweep his team, even though he does have Vaporeon. But Fletchinder just goes for the Will-O-Wisp here, predicting the Zapdos. A good play on Crashy's part, and he's gonna go into a Hippowdon for the first time, predicting either a Volt Switch or Electric move to that extent. But he actually goes for U-turn here, which makes me think he's physical. You might have thought he's physical at this point, but he's just going to Aurorus here to counteract that Sand. And he should go for the Blizzard here. Wow, just knocked off Fletchinder, like, gone. But I don't think that was the play, even though Fletchinder is a huge threat to his team. Now, he goes to go for Hippowdon here, on the double switch, predicting and Zero goes into Vaporeon, predicting the Iron Head. That was the right play. Now, Zero has to make either one or two plays. He has to either has a Scald or Roar, and he does go with Roar, which I don't agree with. Scald was the way better play. Even if he went into Jellicent, he could Toxic right after. But he does return with the Stoutland. Crashy returns with Stoutland. And I believe that Dusknoir is his play here, but Zero actually doesn't know. He does make the play into Venusaur. That would have died to return. I'm not sure why that was the play. But maybe he predicted the Feraligatr or Jellicent here, which is pretty nice play on Zero's part, playing a little bit more aggressively than he actually has been, which is going to give him a huge advantage in this match. Now, Feraligatr goes for the Ice Punch. Remember, you can't freeze with Sheer Force, so I don't know why it's the thing, but Zero just wishes here, and Feraligatr just lost like a lot of health, or he's just going to roar out, which puts Crashy kind of in a bad position. I'm not sure why he went for the Ice Punch here. Maybe he doesn't have Crunch or something. I don't have any idea. But he can't freeze, so he wasn't going for that. But now Vaporeon is just going to protect again and rinse and repeat. No, he actually doesn't protect. Whoa. I mean, that's fine. He has Hydro Pump as his attack move, which is really weird. But I believe that the return is the roll in Crashy's favor. However, Zero doesn't want to take the chance and goes into Dusknoir. And he does reveal that he's Choice Band, which is confirmed. Now, Crashy just returns here. And Zero gets a free Will-O-Wisp off, or he can attack the Jellicent, which he does. He does Shadow Sneak, which is a pretty nice play on Zero's part, predicting the switch into the Jellicent. But knowing that Crashy doesn't not want to sack Jellicent, he goes into Hippowdon here, that's fine. Which means that Zero's just going to get off a little bit of damage and Will-O-Wisp the Hippowdon. Which is not huge, because Hippowdon is not a huge attacker. But it does get Venusaur on the Whirlwind, which is nice in Zero's favor. However, Crash is not a really good switch in this, as he lost the Fletchinder early. And he just Giga Drains the extra drill. It does a lot, and he pops the balloon. Which means if any mob, such as Dusknoir's Earthquake, can pop extra drill. In the face, I guess. Does it? I mean, he has a small face. Pretty weird. But, Crusher just goes for the SDs here. Kind of getting impatient, I would say. He just wants to win the game at this point. But, Zero's just going to sack Aurora's here to the Earthquake. And, Aurora's goes down, and they both have the same, differential, 5-5. But, Zero does go into the Yell Fox here, and he's probably going to Fire Blast. And Crashy just sacks Jellicent here. Seeing as that's the best play, just because Jellicent's useless at this point. And I see Crashy going to Hippowdon here, just getting the Sand up, as Sand does stay. Unless he has like a Rain Dance, Vaporeon, which I think he already showed all his moves, so it doesn't matter. But Crashy makes the aggressive play and goes into Feraligatr, while Zero does go into Zapdos. Maybe Zero predicted that, not sure. But Zero does Wild Charge actually, so he is purely physical at this point, as you can see, just because he has U-Turn and Wild Charge. It might be banded at Zapdos, but it doesn't matter because he got burned earlier in the match. Now, Stoutland just returned and knocked Zapdos back. However, he does have to switch into Dusknoir, and he gets another Will-O-Wisp off. Actually, no, he just doubled. I don't know if that was the right play. Actually, that was fine. That was a fine play. I think I see his intent, just because Vaporeon could wish here. Crash goes for the Ice Punch again. I'm not sure why, because he can't freeze him, because of sheer force. Again. However, I feel Zero's in a really good position. And at this point, Crashy did say that he lost. At this point, Vaporeon just walled the rest of his team. I don't see him beating Vaporeon at all. Vaporeon just walled him. Maybe if Stoutland could get in, but he does have the Dusknoir, which really helps. And he's gonna finish him off here. He should be able to. I don't know why he wished, because Sandstorm wore out. That's fine. He can't really O-kill. All he has is Ice Punch to hit it. Can't freeze. So Zero's in a good position. He just roars here. I would have just Hydro Pump just to take out the Feraligatr, because Feraligatr is kind of annoying. But yeah, it just keeps going on and on. Crashy basically lost at this point. Hippowdon finally goes down to the Hydro Pump. Now he has to go into Stoutland or the Excadrill to abuse the sand. And he actually goes Stoutland here, but Zero loses nothing by protecting, which he does. And he just crunches, which means Zero can probably stay in the Hydro Pump this time. I don't see a reason for him not to. And if he gets a drop, he just switches out. But Stoutland takes that bit of damage, which means that basically seals the game to where he can't win. And Zero just goes for the Hydro Pump again, knocks out the Excadrill. Very nice play on his part. But this is about Zero's game, just because Zero wins with Vaporeon. So that is going to be GG in Zero's favor for a huge upset victory. Very nice playing on Zero's part. But yeah, Zero's up there in ranks as well. But on to the next one, guys. Alright, we are back for one of the last matches. This one's Red against Lynx, the Denver Darmanitans versus the Lucarios, I believe. Hold on. Let me check. Yeah, Lexington Lucarios. Lotus Red has a really interesting team in that he has like purely like offense, and he has Mew and Empoleon, which are pretty good, I guess. I don't know. I don't have anything against him. I kind of like Empoleon. hate Mew, so I don't know. But Lynx has a really offensive team. He has Rocks probably in Druddigon. Bayonet's probably just there to T-Wave as well as Thunderous. But leads on their end, I think Lotus Red's going to lead with either Landorus or Mienshao, and Lynx is going to lead with either Druddigon or Thunderous. So let's get right into this. So he does lead with Thunderous here, and Lotus Red does lead with Mew. He's going to taunt him, just not get a procs, yep. And he's going to T-Wave the Mew, which is fine, slowing down the Mew. But Lotus Red actually just knock off here, knocking off Thunderous's leftovers, which is fine. So Red goes into Landorus here on the Volt Switch, pretty good play, but if he has HP, this could be trouble. But he's actually Scarf Landorus, which is really, really nice for Red, getting the early kill on Thunderous, which could have been a huge problem later in the game. But Lynx should just set up rocks here, which he does. Polion could set up rocks, Ice Beam, or Defog here. All are good plays. But wow. Lynx actually shows the superpower, maybe just to counter Empoleon. But Lotus Red should Defog here, or he should Ice Beam. I don't see any other play. Yeah, he does Ice Beam. I would have Default there, but he actually gets the freeze on Lantern. That's kind of rude. But that's fine. I mean, he does have Grass Knot, which does nothing to Lantern. Lantern's just fat. It's kind of crazy. Oh my god, this is actually giving me bad memories. And like the freeze. The freeze! Oh my god. This actually feels a little bit weird, but I'm getting that chills. Anyways, he does go into the Typhlosion on the Volt Switch, and now, hey, he stole my name. Hello, this is my Kelio name. But he does Scald on the Typhlosion, make the Typhlosion go down, and he does go into Mana Shift here. And knowing that he's gonna use the electric move, he does go into his Lantern just to get the Volt Absorb. And Lantern should Scald here. Yeah, he's probably gonna get the burn, isn't he? Yep, knew it. Ah, these players. Anyways, I believe Empoleon never mind. Okay, Lantern outspeeds. But he does want to Landorus here. He's confirmed Scarf. He should U-turn here. Oh, he actually Earthquakes. Interesting. I mean, not Keldeo gets a shit. Never mind. Okay, Lynx is playing a little bit weird. I'm not used to his playstyle. So he does go into Bayonet, and he's probably just gonna Will-O-Wisp. Okay, I can't read these guys for nothing. But he Will-O-Wisp now, and Mienshaw's just gonna knock off. That does nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. And Bayonet should go for either the double Wisp or the knockoff slash Shadow. What is it called? Shadow Claw? Yeah. But he does go for the knockoff here. Does catch the Mew, which is really nice. He just, well, he doesn't have the stab, so that kind of sucks. And Lotus Red kind of disperses on the Mew, but I mean, he's just asking to get paralyzed, which he does there. Kind of ironic, but he should just knock off again, knocking off Mienshao's life orb, which is pretty nice. And I believe Bayonet, like, it should be able to clean Mienshao and clean, I don't know, I prefer to go Manectric after this, because that is his best play. Yep, he does go Manectric. He should sack Druddigon at this point, because Druddigon kind of does nothing. It is way too low to do anything. So yeah, he does go into Druddigon on the Volt Switch. And he does go into Mew. I believe he's sacking Mew at this point. I probably would have went Landorus, honestly. Just so I don't have to sack Mew, but I guess Mew is a sack. So he should go Landorus. I don't understand that. Actually, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. He goes Manectric and just HP Ices. I mean, I don't see that as the play just because Bisharp now kind of wins the game. Actually, I don't know why he sacked it there. Could have lost in the game, but he does have. No, actually, I think he lost. Oh, he struck Keldeo. Wow, I thought he choked it for a second, but no, he didn't. Keldeo should be able to finish the game up. Yep, as he does, which gives Lynx the 2-0 victory. So, yep, GG, guys. And, if I forget, I'm probably gonna forget. No, I will put an annotation. Soul versus, I believe, Cal didn't save because Soul's a bad player, so he didn't save the replay. He downloaded the replay instead. So that's gonna end in a 3-0 victory for Soul. So yeah, that's gonna be good for him. So he gets a 3-0. I'm not gonna commentate that because I don't have the footage for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed. This is the week 1 battles. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, all that. Thank you guys for watching this. I guess you guys are awesome. Have a nice day. Peace.